What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Mommy Confessions with me, that chick Angel, and you guys. I'm so freaking excited about this episode. But before I get ahead of myself, let me just make sure that if this is your first time tuning in or listening in, that you are either following this podcast or show and that you have rated and reviewed it. So go ahead, press pause, do what I said do, and then come on back, okay? Because we gonna want you to come back for all the many guests that I have had on, because that's one thing quarantine has been a blessing, is this guest list, because people are a little more available now, praise God. Praise God. So I decided to do a really special episode because I feel like I've been put in a special predicament where the Lord decided not to give me any daughters. But I'm not alone. As a matter of fact, I'm so not alone. I am in the company of some of the titans in the mommy sphere, okay, and in online content. Please welcome me in introducing Kadeen Ellis,
Hey,
Oliver, and Melissa Frederick.
hello.
We are all boy moms. Between all of us, let me see if I count it up. There's 3, 6, 10. There's 12. 12 boys.
12 boys. Oh my God.
12. And that's not including our husbands. We can go into
Oh,
16 to
here
be
we go.
honest.
I think we should start this whole conversation with a prayer just for us.
No, just for us. It's something different. It is something different. So I'm going to go ahead and have us jump into our confessions, and then we'll do a little like deeper intro to each of you, and then we'll jump into the questions that I want to ask you all. So for those of you all who are tuning in for the first time, I always start off every episode with a honest confession, because here on Mommy Confessions we have honest, raw conversations. Sometimes it's inspirational, sometimes it's just funny, but it is always real. So my mommy confession, and this is not going to be a popular opinion, is that I actually might miss quarantine when it's all said and done, only because I've gotten so used to knowing that my children are safe because they right here. Like they know they're not anywhere. Like, I don't ever have to worry about somebody calling me and being like, we're so sorry to tell you that your son is,
Oh my God.
whatever. So like knowing that now I might not know where they are in the house. I have no idea where the baby is. Like he could literally be in a toilet splish splashing around right now. But I have gained some comfort in not having to wear, like I remember when my oldest son's school would call, the principal would always start off by saying, first, I want you to know that your son is safe. Like
Mhm.
that's how she started off
Yeah.
every. It didn't matter what she was calling about. She could have been calling to say, yo, can you bring that one sheet of paper? She would always start off, your son is safe. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna miss that part happening. Okay, so that's my mommy confession. So we're gonna start off with the mommy that's been in this thing the longest, Melissa.
Okay. I didn't realize
She's like,
that
oh
it
no.
was me.
She's like, I
I
didn't know
know.
this was
I
you.
had to quickly look around like her kid. Nope, her kid. Oh, okay, that's fine.
What is your
uh,
mommy confession?
my mommy confession is, child, I'm not okay every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some low. I've had some lows.
Yeah.
So I've crawled myself out of those lows. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know that I have rebalance myself,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm getting there.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a confession for almost probably everybody on here and
Yeah.
anybody listening.
Yeah,
That
I think in the beginning though, I felt like I had to like, this is the time to drive, this is the
mm,
time to do, this is the time, this you got time, so like maximize it. And then you realize you keep going at night. I was like every night I feel like right below the surface I'm a cry.
mm-hmm,
At
mm-hmm.
any moment, somebody say the wrong thing to me, and I'm going to burst into a puddle of tears. And so, yeah, I've slowly in the month of May started to climb out of that. But yeah, for it took a while to understand that I wasn't okay, and then I sat in it for a little while, and now I'm trying to, get out of it.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like this is a weird time, and it like I was at my son's school today, filming stuff for his culmination. And he wasn't there, only me and my videographer were there. And I could feel emotion welling up in me. And I'm not an emotional person, but it just like being there at that empty school made me realize like this is like real. Like, what is this? This is real and it's real weird. And I don't even know how I should feel about this, but it ain't right. It don't feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, Melissa. I get it. But we ain't gonna say nothing wrong to you. I ain't gonna listen. I ain't gonna pick with you. I'm gonna leave you alone. Okay. Next up for the confession, Miss Kajeen Ellis.
That's me. I have the second group of oldest children, I guess. Melissa, first of all, girl, I am with you all the way. I mean, I've had several moments in quarantine where I've just been in a funk. And I've just came to terms with the fact that I'm gonna be in this funk. Y'all gonna have to deal with me being in this funk. And when I'm out of it, I'm out of it. And I took a lot of pressure off myself, feeling like stuff had to get done. You know, you see all the memes floating around like, now's the time, now's the time. And I decided to launch a whole ass channel in quarantine with no cameraman, nobody. I was like, wait, this is for real. This is gonna last a couple months. So yes, I've had several moments, sis. So I'm sending you a virtual hug because I
felt it.
Virtual hug all the way. My mommy confession is, I guess, a little bit on a lighter note. So Kaz, my youngest, has been refusing this whole potty situation. Like he's just not with it at all. Like won't even warm up to the idea of it. But your boy in quarantine has been snacking like a grown ass man, okay? He's like at the grocery shop, you know, at least once a week and like in bulks. So that means that his Pampers are now also the output of the abundance of eating that he's been doing. But I will confess, and don't let my mother or my husband or my father see this because they've been with us in quarantine. I've been sending Cass to their ass like, go to Mimi. She'll smell you, or be like, go see what daddy's doing. Because once they get a whiff of him, they'll change him, and I can opt out of that poop change. So yeah, I've been dodging poop Pampers like for real.
That timer poop, that poop where it's like time for potty training, it's funkier than any other age for some reason.
It's whole ass human poop. Like it's before it was like baby poop. Now it's like you're grown ass man pooping, and I don't got time for it. Like I'm over it.
But if you put him in his underwear, is he okay with it, or is he like?
He loves that stuff, Cody. He loves mess. He's like your sandbox kid. He's like all of the sensory that comes with anything mushy.
Oh my God.
Is all he has. So if I've tried the underwear thing, and it's ended up with poop everywhere.
Oh no!
That was a real boy mom moment.
So any tips and tricks, please share.
Dude. And what's going on with you, Miss Cody?
Okay, so I thought about this just now because I really don't have like me and the kids, like we're good right now. There's been lows, you know. I did post a little bit about the diaper rashes at the same time when that was not fun. But like overall, I feel good with them. I will say my mommy confession, specifically under quarantine, is that I felt like right before I was on the path to like I'm working out, I'm doing things better for my body, and this quarantine has created a darkness. You know, that's like I'm eating right for a day, and then I'm like, fuck it. I mean, I'm not give y'all that today. But I'm like, whatever's in front of me, like I need a s'more. There was a time, and I say it like we've been under quarantine for 2 months, where I was like, Tommy, a s'more a day, you know, it's just not more than one, you know?
No big deal.
Like, they're good. They make me feel good.
Right.
So physically, I can quickly go to the dark place of like, how am I gonna get where I want to be under this quarantine situation, because no day is the same in that regard.
Not.
Yeah. No, I get it. I wish I could stop at a s'mores a day. Like I wish I wasn't an emotional eater. That's really the problem. So the kids will get to that nerve, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go and eat some graham crackers, that's ice cream sandwiches, whatever's close. Oh, okay.
Big brownie, whatever, you know.
There you go.
There's always time to bake brownies.
And there isn't there.
Mhm.
Isn't there always time?
With the rum and coke on the side for good
Mhm.
measure.
Oh yes. Oh, ooh, the
I am a
drinking.
rough girl.
At the beginning of quarantine, I bought one of those big sangria gallon bottles. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's gone,
Yeah.
and nobody
Sounds-
else had any but me. I mean, I'm glad we're now what 7 weeks in, so it doesn't sound as bad, but it's gone. It's
All
no more.
7 weeks, that's it.
Is it? Is it? I don't.
I
I
feel like
want.
it's going fast
Lifetime.
and slow at the same time. I can't keep track. It's like some days it's like, wait a second, the week is passed already, and other
Right.
days it's a drag, you know? It's like Groundhog Day. I don't know.
Yes, Groundhog's Day. Perfect place. Perfect description. Okay, so let's go in a little bit deeper about who each of you all are, just in case people aren't aware for some strange reason. But again, I'm gonna start with Melissa. Melissa has the oldest of the boys. She has two,
Mhm.
Isaiah and Josiah, correct?
Yes.
Now, how
Yes.
old are your boys?
Isaiah is 13 and Joey is 11. So I have two middle schoolers, one going into high school next year, and then Joey will be in seventh grade next year. So,
You almost done.
Girl.
I
How does that feel?
I have moments where like everything is fine, and then with Joe I like want him to stay my baby forever. I feel like with Isaiah, you're my oldest, I want you to be the oldest, and I'm okay with that. Like, you need to get your stuff together, get your life together, like let's get it popping. Like, you're the oldest child, responsibility, accountability, like that's okay. Joe, I'm like, come be my baby forever.
Mhm.
Don't grow up. You have hair under your arms, let's shave it and pretend like it's not there.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't exist. I don't want to see it. I want to carry you down the stairs and break my back. Like, I'm literally like, I want to hold on to you being a baby for as long as possible. So I don't think of myself like, I know Isaiah, obviously, listen, he's going to high school. I'm 4 years out, bro. You got to go. But
Mhm.
also, I'm like, but Joe, just stay 5. Just
Mhm.
be my little baby. I even doing this, and I call him Joey. No one else in my house calls him Joey, but like Joey because he's my baby.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. I have a really weird thing with that. Like, Isaiah, I'm cool with. Be old. Matter of fact, get your driver's license. I'm sick of driving around. Go, put a pamper on. Do it right now.
You like cats.
Right.
Seriously, even when I'm hearing you tell this story, I'm like, oh, I haven't changed a diaper in so long.
Come over.
I know. I was about to say you can take them on. Go on here. We'll let you.
So sweet.
Kadeen. So you have three. You have Jackson, Cairo, and Cass, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what are their ages?
So Jackson is 9,
Mhm.
Cairo is 3.5, and Kaz is 2.5.
No.
Give or take. So yeah, I am at that point where they're all doing something different, which is nice.
Mhm.
Unlike Melissa, I do have like the baby. So
Mhm.
Kaz is like everyone's baby. He's like my mom's baby. He gets
Mhm.
spoiled like immensely. And I was gonna ask Melissa when she mentioned that, like, what does it feel like? Does that cause a tension between like your two boys, knowing that you're giving Isaiah so much responsibility and Joey is like the baby? Because with us, with like Jackson, it's just like the same thing. It's like you're the older brother, set the example, you know better. I even I didn't have to, but I found myself scolding Jackson once because his brothers were doing something around him that I was like, why would you let your brothers do that?
Right.
And I was like, you can't get on Jackson because he's not parenting. He's not supposed to be parenting.
Mhm.
He's their brother. He's going to get in it with them.
Right.
And I'm just like, he's the older one. He should know better. Why didn't he say stop? And I'm just like, you know what? You're right. So Jackson can't be going into punishment because of things his brothers did, because then that causes the tension between brothers. So I had to learn that from Deval because he has a brother who's 2 years younger than him, and he would get blamed for stuff too. It's like a weird time because I'm trying to make sure that I'm giving them each their own time, A,
Mhm.
and B, meeting them where they are, emotionally, physically, mentally, all that. So, you know, it's challenging, but it's fun. And, you know, like you said, in quarantine, I feel like it's really giving me a chance to bond with the boys. Like, I'm going to miss this time that we have the downtime, because other time is just so much going on. So, you know, I'm so committed.
Listen, we're about to get to Cody, but because I've had so many kids, I have the most out of all of y'all because I just for some reason wouldn't stop. I only plan on raising this youngest one until he's 13. And then his 23-year-old brother at the time is going to have to tap in. I plan on completely tapping out. Me and my husband are like, that's our plan. At 13, the 23-year-old should be able to do something with the youngest one because I'm going to be done. I feel like I'll be all babied out. I'll be like, yeah, it's fine. You grown. You go ahead, live your life. Ask your brother for a ride. So while I get the spoiled baby that you have, Kadeem, because he is the baby, I don't think I'm going to be able to hold on as long as you have, Melissa. And that's probably because you only had two, so you only got that phase twice. I think I've had it enough.
I'm gonna tell you what the other thing too. I had my kids young. I had Isaiah at 23, and I had Joe by the time I was 25. And I feel like when you're that young, you don't relish in those moments because you're broke. Because you're stressed. Like, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to get diapers, wipes, and formula. Like, that's a lot.
Right.
Like, every week you need this. This is a lot going on. And so I feel like I didn't, like, sit in those moments of, like, capturing their laugh and those things that they did. And I felt like I was just stressed trying to, you know, make things happen. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I feel like I'm just more present. And so I want to, like, I don't know, go back in time and be my baby so I can appreciate you not knowing things and looking at the world with wonder. And, like, I didn't get those experiences because I was too busy trying to make $1.
Right. Yeah. No, it is different. It's definitely different as you become a parent older. I definitely feel like little Marcus got a different experience than this baby is completely different. Now, not Kadeem, excuse me. Now, Cody is the only other one on here that has experienced the life of twins. So she has a 3-year-old, correct, Brooks, and then twins Langston and Aristotle.
Yeah.
Tell me about parenting them.
I mean, they're super sweet overall, right? They are so giggly, so cuddly, so affectionate. They love each other. I would say I'm definitely running into the issue that Kadeem was talking about, except Brooks is 3, so I feel worse. That I don't necessarily expect him to parent, but I did realize that, like, I'm often, like, mad at him about something that his brothers are doing. And it's like, and of course he's in a phase where he's like, I'm a big boy, right? But I don't want to get to a place where I'm forcing him to be like a big boy or a bigger boy than he's supposed to be, you know? Like, forcing him to be more responsible. So I've been thinking about that a lot. So when you said it, it was like, I felt worse because Jackson's like damn near an adult and Brooks is 3.
So I'm going on 19.
I'm definitely trying to figure that out right now. And then the other thing is that one twin has taken to pulling hair. And so that's the one thing that's become very stressful. And these kids got hair, okay? Now I know you know about this. So that's become very stressful because we can leave them alone a lot. They're very, like, independent and self-sufficient. They can read books and play and da-da-da-da-da. But there's a certain scream where I'm like, oh God, are you really doing this right now? Where I know that has pulled, I'm not gonna put that label on it.
Don't out them.
But somebody has pulled somebody's hair and I have to, like, go rescue him. And then the pediatrician has given us advice as to how to, like, handle it. And it's just, that's one thing for me that's anxiety inducing because I just want it to stop.
You're like, I'm ready to be out of that phase. I mean, they're young.
Yeah.
They're so young. They just do things that don't make any sense at that age. So you'll be out of the phase. They'll grow out of it. They will. Okay, so the biggest question, like I feel like everybody asks someone that only has boys is, did you ever want a girl?
Oh, great
So whoever wants to, we'll start with the one that people are in their uterus the most, and that is you, Kadeem. People stay in
Yes.
their uterus.
Yeah.
They have rented out space for an egg to drop.
They are intense, baby. They're saying all the
Look,
manifestations.
DeVal don't help now. That's because DeVal be fueling that.
Oh, play, Cody. Thank you. He sure does. That's
We
because
blame the
he,
people. We can't blame
he
people.
is dying for a girl. And the funny thing, I feel like he is dying for a girl more than me. Like, I feel a sense of contentment where I am now. And I don't know if that's come from me just kind of over the years, just saying, well, it's just not in the cards for me, so I'm okay with that. Because it's something that I don't have control over. If it was something that I could will to happen, or something that I could have done differently, where I can beat myself up about it and be like, Kadeem, you should have done X, Y, Z, you know, you should have laid on your back a little longer. Like, I don't know. If it was something under my control, then I feel like I would have been like, damn. But I just kind of feel like, you know, this is what the good Lord has blessed me with. He may know better the reason why I'm a boy mom and not a girl mom. There may be a reason why, you know what I mean? And I've come to terms with that I'm pretty okay with it. It's my husband, on the other hand, that's still trying to, you know, will this to happen. But I've checked for my IUD strings in quarantine. So we are good to go as far as I'm concerned. But there are people who are just like, well, my baby came out holding the IUD, like, hey, sis, you know. I have a good friend who has now 5 children. She had 4, and that's after a failed vasectomy. So
listen, we cast that out.
You know,
Find it out.
So it's just kind of one of those things, like, you never know what the future holds, but if it's up to me and me alone, I'd say that I'm in a good place where I am right now with my boys.
When did you get to the place of, was it after the last, because I know you didn't find out the gender of your last baby either until he came.
Until birth. Yes,
So
until
were
birth.
you already in a good place then of, whatever baby comes out of me, I'm happy? Or were you just like, if it could just be a girl, I would not be mad?
It's funny, in the very beginning of the pregnancy, I always had this myth, and it was kind of, I don't know if it was a myth or it was me trying to like piece things together, but a lot of my friends or people who I knew that had surprise babies, meaning they didn't plan the pregnancy, had a lot of girls. And then people who were like, oh, we're trying for this baby, had boys. So I was like, oh, this was a surprise baby. This Kaz came out of nowhere. So I'm like, maybe there's a chance it's a girl. So my first 5 months of pregnancy, I was like, oh, sis is on her way. Homegirl is baking, and this is what it's gonna be. And then I got that feeling around month 6.5. I was like, it's a whole ass boy again. I just had that gut feeling, and each time I knew it was a boy. So when Kaz was born, I thought, when my water broke and we were having this excitement, everyone's at home. I had a home birth, as most people know. So there was the excitement around, like, oh, okay, this baby's coming. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? I was kind of like, it's another boy. So when the boy was born and it was Kaz, I was at peace with it, because I was like, deep down, I knew it's another boy.
Yeah. Now, what about you, Cody? Because like in my predicament, I'm not sure if on your second one you were hoping, I hope, you know, it'd be great, we'll have one boy, one girl. But then when you find out you're having 2, and then God is like, and guess what? Ain't none of them gonna be a girl. As a matter of fact, we're gonna give you 2 of the exact same child, so you understand that I'm not giving you this girl right now. It's not happening.
That's exactly what happened. Honestly, though, I really didn't care until I found. So I'll paint the picture, but I really didn't care. First baby, I'm just like, yay, a baby. Like, yes, I don't care what it is. Like, I could see myself as a boy mom or a girl mom, right? So Brooks comes, he's amazing and wonderful. So the next time, short story is that I was this baby, when I found out I was pregnant, before we told anyone, before we even went to the doctor, this baby right, was bringing up in me, like, I don't know, like power. Like I had an attitude all about the right things, you know, but I was like standing up for myself, da, 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 da. And my friend was like, it's a girl and she ain't gonna stand for this no more. You know, like she was like, we gonna take everybody down with this girl power, right? So we were just so sure it was a girl. So then when I found out that it was twins, over the moon. But I was actually with DeVal and Kadeen. I don't know if y'all remember this, but when the doctor calls or the nurse calls, and at this point, all we know is it's twins. We don't know that they're identical. And so she's like, oh, did they tell you? I don't remember what she said first, but she said, did they tell you it's 2 boys or something? And I was like, oh, no, I didn't. I don't remember what she said first, identical or boys, but it was like, found out they're twins, then find out that they're identical, then that they're boys. And I'm like, dang, like I was so excited, but I also was like, wait, so I have 2 babies and neither one's a girl. Like I got sad after. Like it was just like, so I could have had a girl, but I don't. And now I had to mourn my girl for like this long just to wrap my head around the fact that like, okay, I'm about to have 2 whole babies. As you mentioned, they're identical, they're the same egg. Like I literally had to be like, how does this go? How does this biologically be identical?
Right.
Because I was also that's the other thing. I was so sure that they were fraternal. We don't have twins in our family. You know, we've learned now that if you do, they're typically fraternal anyway. But like, we don't have twins in our family. We didn't do anything special to make them twins. So I was just sure that it was fraternal. So to find out they were identical and they were boys, I was just like, okay, this is insane. But I did mourn the girl for like 5 seconds. I really did, because I'm like, okay, I'm definitely not having more kids after this. Tommy's done, so I have to like make some peace with this. So.
The funny thing, I remember Cody, when we were talking at some point during like our whole Black Love stint, that you had mentioned you and Tommy were going back and forth because you wanted 3 kids and he wanted 2. And it was kind of the joke that like, well, the only way he's going to get 3 kids is if it's 1 pregnancy with 2 babies. And look at you. Look at what he did.
The fact that you only mourned your not having a girl for 5 seconds, I wept like I was at the funeral of my unborn daughter.
Already 3 at that point.
No. I'm talking about during the twins. When I was pregnant with them.
Really?
When I saw both of those penises pop up on that ultrasound, I was like, I cried all the way home. I was like, I just don't understand. I did. It took me, like, people were calling to try to find out the gender. I was like, I cannot talk to them right now because I am not in a good place. Like, I know I sound so selfish. Like, I was fully aware of how, like, they were healthy, they were developing.
Right.
But there's so many things that could have gone wrong. So I understood that my tears had so much selfishness in it. But I wrote this child that was not ever coming out of me a letter, because I said, girl, you just ain't gonna come, so let me just write you what I planned on doing, because you ain't. So that's why with the 4th, I did it the way Kadeen did it, and I was like, I'm not gonna find out, because I don't want to mourn yet another girl that just ain't gonna show up. She late to the party. I don't know where she is, but like she just ain't showing up. So Melissa, for you? Like you said, you were young, so there was probably so many other things on your mind, but did you ever have visions of a little girl showing up?
When I found out that I was pregnant with both of my boys, I wanted boys. Like I always knew I wanted a boy, and I always knew I wanted his name to be Isaiah. I just knew, like I just felt like I was too high maintenance, and to have 2 of me, I would just be broke. So I was like, I just knew like it wouldn't be a good idea, because you know, you get your hair done, well let's go, mom. We going to get our hair done, we're going to get our nails done, we getting fade, I'm not trying to create a monster. Right. Now that my boys are older and they're nasty and they like Dragon Ball Z and things, I don't even know if Dragon Ball Z is even a thing, anime, child, video games, they don't shower, they don't brush their teeth. I just feel like, Jesus, you knew better than me. I don't understand why you would listen. I said I wanted boys and you just do what I asked you to do?
Right.
Like, make sense. I got a a whole bunch of other prayer requests. Can I get those answered? Because this is ridiculous. So at the time, I wanted boys. Now I wish. After Joe, because I was, listen, you talking about this IUD story, I was on birth control with both the boys.
Oh my. That birth control was like pads candy. It wasn't doing nothing.
Listen, that birth control was failure to launch, okay? Listen, I don't know what happened. I got 2 children and birth control didn't work. But after Joey, I literally told the doctor, like, I'm not playing Russian roulette with my uterus no more. So let's just close this down. I don't, whatever's in there that's reproductive, I don't need it no more. 2 kids is enough. So I know I'm not having no more kids. But now that I'm older, again, just going back to like being older, being able to, I'm settled now. You know what I mean? I wish I could do it again. And I wish I could do it with a little girl.
Yeah. So you said you were already high maintenance. I was about to ask you all, did having boys make you girlier at all? Because I feel like I've become girlier just so I can have some sort of more femininity in the house, because I just have so many balls and penises here. This is just a whole it's a whole lot. So I'm like just buying makeup to make up for it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy some lipstick because
Can I piggyback off your question?
please.
Because I would say no, I'm totally the same, and I probably will emerge as girlier when they're a little older. I just have more time. But here's what irritates me is that Tommy has Brooks, because I think that they just, their genetics have made it so that they are the same. He'd be like, my 3-year-old be like, Mommy, what is on your lips? I do not like that. Like when I wear lip color, he's like, me and Daddy do not like that.
Me and Daddy.
So are your boys supportive of you looking like a girl? Because mine be hating.
No, my boys, they'll compliment me, which actually makes me feel better, because I'm just, Jackson will be like, wow, Mom, like your lips look pretty today, or oh, Mom, you did your nails. Like they'll notice little things, but then I'd be low-key feeling away, like, so I'd be busted a lot of the times just because I don't have the time. So when I do put on a little something, it's like, A, where are you going? Because clearly you're not going to be in the house looking like this for anybody. Then DeVal feels some kind of way because he's just like, it takes you going outside to look good, huh?
You sound like Marcus.
Ask about quarantine. I'm here blowing out my hair for Angel. Oh, Angel could get a blowout. I can't get a blowout. I'm like, listen, bro, okay? Yeah, this is my time. Hour a day quarantine. I need my time. So this is my girl time. And I'm a little cute for my girl time, So it's kind of like both-sided for me, because boys will notice it, but then low-key I'm just like, damn, I've been bumming it a lot lately, so they can tell when mommy is on the up and up, okay?
No, my boys know it's my love language, so they purposefully, they'll be like, ooh, especially, they like to give input on what color I'm going to make my nails. I mean, they don't always pick the color that I want, but they'll be like, you should do orange. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, orange.
I'm about to kick my boys out.
What'd you say? What?
I'm about to kick them out. I'm about to call them in here right now and tell them to go get out. You're now homeless.
Do they just like, Mom's just in there doing arts and crafts on her face? Do they not?
I'm married to Kevin Fredericks, the comedian, so all they want to do is listen. I remember, actually, I think it was the episode that DeVal and Kadeen came on the podcast. Maybe it wasn't, actually, now that I remember. Anyways, this is the point. I had this shirt on. It was like a sweater. It's a white sweater, and I felt like I was fashion forward, okay? My hair wasn't done, so I had a wig on. I had the shirt on. I felt like I looked like winter personified, okay? I was out here trying to do it. I came downstairs, and Isaiah said, you trying to look like Big Bird? Then the wig.
Oh, gosh.
Are you in a costume? Are you in a play?
Oh. Shots fired.
So Kevin said, no, it gets worse, okay? It gets worse. So I'm like, first of all, this is winter personified, like I look cute. Kevin comes downstairs, and I'm like, Kevin, what do you think? He's like, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there. You look ridiculous.
Oh, no.
I don't get love. I do not get love in my family, is what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all, these are nice things that they say.
Wow. Well, maybe their way of joking is their way of, that's their love language.
I don't want it.
That's not how I receive it. Keep it to yourself.
Alyssa, just call us next time. We'll do a quick Zoom.
I know.
Show you this.
Right, I will gas you up. I'll be like, come on.
This is why I'm literally,
yeah.
I'm like, I need a little girl so she can be like, mommy, that's cute. No, what you need to do is, mommy, no, wear this jacket. No, you're fly, girl. That's what you need to do. These boys.
Now, we're going to jump further in the future. It's less in the future for possibly you, Melissa, but a little further for us. We eventually, hopefully, all of our boys will find someone that they fall in love with and move out of our houses with those people. What from your own mothering of them are you trying to hopefully establish with their relationship with females? Like, and what do you think you might have possibly pushed too far I have things that I feel like I might have pushed too far in the wrong direction, but I'm like, oh, well, we here now. Like, because I do so much, I'm afraid that my sons are going to think that every female should be able to do so much. And every female is this as independent as I am. Like, I am extremely independent. My husband has to basically chain me down to be able to do stuff for me, because I'll be like, I can just do it. I can do it. And I'm afraid that that might be what they expect from other people. And I'm like, this is just how I was raised, and not every girl is. So is there anything that you're hoping as far as in what they find attractive as a personality trait in the opposite sex is, and how they treat someone that they're interested in? Cody.
I think that, and maybe because they're small, I have no clue what they're gonna like, what they're gonna be attracted to, right? But I do, one thing that I'm very cognizant of is trying to make sure that they are emotionally mature, that they can communicate their feelings and that they can respect other people's feelings. So I would say that's the biggest thing. If I leave them with nothing else, I want them to be able to not bottle stuff up, to articulate how they feel about things, not be afraid to do that, and to wholly be present for the people that they love and how we feel. My baby, at night now, I did not start this, but I certainly planted the seed with several books and things. He at night will say to me, Mommy, can we talk about our feelings?
Aww.
And he'll be like, you go first, right? And he does go. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll be like, you go first, but I just love it. And I hope it never changes.
That's
but stuff like that, that makes me so happy.
It's funny you mentioned that, Cody, because with Jackson, it's funny how you can have children with the same man, and each child is so different. And it's as your children grow, you tend to pick up on things from them personality wise, or just characteristics that you're just like, oh, that's interesting, or wow, he got that from you, or that is definitely your mom, DeVal, that's not me. There's little things that we can really just kind of hone in on. And one thing, piggybacking off of what you said, Cody, is that with Jackson, he's super, super empathetic and very sensitive to the way people feel. I remember even one time in kindergarten, he had a classmate that had an accident on, did number 2 on himself, and the teacher asked, who would you like to go with you to the bathroom just to be, support system? And his friend picked Jackson. So afterward, the friend's mom was like, he came home and said that he wanted Jackson to go with him because he knew Jackson was the only person that wouldn't make fun of him or laugh at him. So that made me feel really good. But on the other side, I feel like sometimes he will withhold the way he feels in order to make others feel good. And to me, that can translate in the future with any relationship, female or not, him possibly being taken advantage of, or someone saying, Jackson's the nice guy, so we can get away with this. So it's now to the point where if he's about to say something, sometimes he'll be like, no, forget it. I'm good. And it's like, no, you're not good. Sit down, and we need you to explain how you're feeling. Tell me how this made you feel. And that's a lot to do with communication. And I think that's something that was lacking with prior generations of our men, Black men, being able to tell us how they feel, not communicating effectively, not being verbal with the way they feel. So that's something that we definitely are instilling in our boys, regardless of how it may potentially make someone feel, say how you feel, of course, respectfully, and know how to receive that and be a good listener.
Melissa, what's going on?
Oh, amen and ditto. I literally cannot add anything else. Everything that they said. Raising emotionally intelligent men is what I hope they gather from me. That's it. I tell them, and maybe clean up after yourself.
One thing I can add to
we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I love that they're able to see firsthand the relationship that their father and I have. So Deval being my husband, yes, is also their father. So they're seeing the mother-father relationship, but they're also seeing a husband and wife relationship. And who knows, who they'll go on to marry or be interested in, but at least seeing what a healthy relationship looks like, us being mindful if Deval and I have a disagreement, sometimes Jackson will be like, well, clearly you guys are mad at each other, because he can sense if like there's a little tension in the air. But for the most part, like we want Jackson to see, and Cairo and Kaz to see us, loving each other and loving on each other and knowing that that's okay and that's healthy and that's a good way to have a relationship with your significant other.
That's good.
So last question before we wrap this up. This has been so good.
It has been.
It has.
Mama's voice. Do you have them? Or are your boys so team daddy that they've left you on a deserted island with your lipstick and fingernail polish? Yes.
I actually was just saying I'm B. I'm on the island.
You're on the island by
I'm on the island. Sometimes Joe might come to visit me. But I'm on the island by myself. I'm in a house full of men. Who said it? Balls and chain. Yes. These little boys, listen, they are their daddy's child. They love, and Kevin's a great dad. Like, honestly, he really, truly is. He's a fantastic father. I love him. I see why they do. But child, they don't care nothing about me.
Has that always been the case? Has that always been the case, or did it before they got older and they got into their own interests that weren't like maybe your interests?
I think that's part of it, definitely, as they got older. Joey is more, listen, Joe, they're both daddy's boy, but Joe will, Mommy, are you okay? Actually, they say mother. They're on this thing where they say mother right now. Mother and father, everything's father. I don't know why. Mother, are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Like, he does come to like, he'll be the one to check on me. Are you okay? Do you need help? And I tell him all the time, that's a great question. Make sure you ask your wife that question when you are older. Mom, mother, do you need help with anything? That's a great question. Yes, I do need help. Go do this. Like, yes. So he's the one that'll check on me. But like, as they've gotten older, child, they don't get nothing about. They just be doing. And y'all talk about in quarantine, y'all get all this time with y'all. I need to switch. This is what I've learned here.
Tell us.
But I need to throw my kids out the window because they're older. They're on their phone. They're talking to their friends. They're on their game. They're FaceTiming their cousins. Can we do a Zoom meeting? I'm like, first of all, Zoom meetings are for people with a 9 to 5.
With a whole
people that receive a paycheck. This is not the new Playhouse Rock time. Like, what is going on? I don't understand. But like, they have their own like friends and family and agenda and their thoughts and all of these things. So the most I do is like, I'll give an example. Actually, and then I'm gonna stop talking because I was talking a lot. But I just was talking to Cody actually the other day, and she was asking me about making sure that my kids see like the human side of me, that I don't always portray this like perfection. And so I was talking to one of my friends who's kind of having a really, really hard time right now with quarantine. So I brought my boys downstairs and I was explaining to them the way how, quarantine can be a trigger for people, and all of those things. And I told them, I said, if we're being honest, mommy wasn't okay. You remember we were supposed to get the house. That didn't happen. We were supposed to put on this conference. That's not going to happen. Like all of those things affected me. And it's important to me that I'm emotionally vulnerable with you guys, but also to let you know I'm okay now. Fine. It's okay. And to show and to let you know that your friends may not be okay. The same way that I am human and I went through these things, you guys are in a safe environment. You guys are at home. You guys have food. You don't know the environment that your friends are in. You don't know the relationship that they have with their parents, the relationship that they have with their siblings, or the relationship that their parents have with each other. They may not be in an environment that's peaceful. This may be a really hard time for them. Be sensitive to that. Be sympathetic to that. Be empathetic to that, because you don't know what people are going through. In the same way that I was going through, your friend may be going through. And like we really had, that moment. And those are the things that I hope I instill in them. But those are the only times that they're like, okay, mother, I got you. That was good. Now I'm going to go back to my room and I'll see you at dinner.
I'll see you at dinner time.
Listen, Melissa, don't get it twisted. Now, I spend time with my kids because I have to help with social learning or this distant learning. Once that's over, they're watching Ryan Review make millions of dollars. The other one is glued to his Nintendo Switch. The only one that deals with me, and that's because I am his source of food, is the baby.
Right.
Like, the rest ain't really kicking it with me unless it's time to eat. Like,
it makes me sad.
It is. I was the minute you asked this question, Angel, I was like, I can think of a moment that just made me sad, literally a couple weeks ago, and this is like a triggering question for me because I feel like I was always with Jackson for a long time, like the bad guy. Like, did you do your reading today? Did you do your homework? It was a lot of like touch-based moments that I had with him. And I felt like DeVal was like the fun one, he's 9. So naturally it's like, he's into all his sports and whatever daddy's into. It's like, whoa, dad played in the NFL. Dad, show me how, you throw this football. Da, da, da. So he's at that age where he's just like all DeVal. And I felt like I was just like the stick in the mud. And DeVal was like, okay, honestly, like, what do you and Jackson have that's just you and Jackson that you two do together that he can say, well, it's just me and mom doing this, so that's the connection we have. And I was like, like it was literally tears. And I focused so much on trying to raise a responsible young man who is, it's like I'm making sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and he's respectful and he has manners and he's washing his armpits now that he's funky. And like, there's so many like little housekeeping things that I was doing with him. And I had to realize that those housekeeping things are not quality time.
Right.
So I went ahead, girl, in quarantine, got on Amazon, and I was like, I'm going to get bananagrams, and I'm going to get playing cards, and I'm going to get Connect 4, and we're going to do all these different fun games, and we're going to read books together, and we're going to have discussions, and we're just going to do things that are specific to like Jackson and mommy time.
I love that.
Cairo and Kaz, I don't have that issue with because they're 3 and 2, so they're all mommy, I should say, all mommy and Mimi, because they're still the baby. So naturally at that age, it's all mommy. Because when Jackson was 3 and 2, which was not that long ago, he was the same way, but there was the slow transition. Now that I can see the age difference, it's like, So I kind of know that when like 7, 8 rolls around with like Cairo and Kaz, I'm gonna start to lose my grip a little bit. So that's made me more aware of the type of time that I'm spending with Jackson. And though the quality time I felt was just me loving on him and trying to raise an amazing young man, it was coming across to him as like, mom is just getting on me about like hygiene, or she's just getting on me about my schoolwork. So I needed to incorporate more fun things. Or when he comes to me with stats about teams that I don't know shit about, I'm like, you know what? Let's Google that together so I can get on and know what it is. Like, let's watch this, Last Dance with Michael Jordan together so I can know what's going on,
Right.
So it's funny because he'll laugh at me and he's just like, mom's trying to be cool or whatnot. And I'm like, bro, I'm still popping. Okay, I'm just trying to be out. Right. So yeah, that really made me feel like, oh,
It hurt your heart. Now you said that you're more the disciplinarian. Deval was the fun dad. Is that the same thing for you, Melissa? Are you
Oh,
more?
girl, absolutely.
Okay, so you're the disciplinarian.
Yep. As Kay was talking, I was like, I'm the same. Kev, fruit snacks if you want to, all day, every day. I'm the one who has to tell them, did you brush your teeth today? I know that you don't have to see people, but it's still important.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put deodorant on? I can smell you. Put deodorant on.
Do something about
Your
that.
homework. The teachers are emailing me. You're not doing this. What's going on? Let's get it together. Like what Kay said is literally my life. So actually what I heard her say is like, it's also important for me to make sure that my relationship with them isn't just those touch points. Because Kevin's fun dad all day, every day.
Okay, so what about you, Cody? Do you have mama's boys, or are they? Because I know you said that Brooks and Tommy are their own set of twins, and so what about the twins? Do you have a chance of having a mama's boy, or is it?
Here's the thing, though. Brooks I would never call him a mama's boy because he's super, like, he has his mama's boy moments, but he's super duper affectionate, and I would say towards both of us. Like, he is first off, he uses our bathroom, even though he has his own. So he calls all day. He will walk in, go to the bathroom, come out, and go, Mommy, can I hug you? But he'll do the same thing to Tommy. So, like, that's just who he is, or at least right now, that's who he is. And so I say that all of them are like that right now. They will hug whoever's there, like, for sure. They just are so snuggly.
Yeah, I think it also helps because you all have been working with each other, working together since the beginning of their conception, right?
Yeah.
I think that helps because this last baby is the first one of my boys that is both a mama's boy and a daddy's boy. Yeah. The rest are team mom all day. If something happened to me and Marcus and we separated, they're gonna be like, deuces, daddy. We're going with mom. And that's because while I am probably the one that's more there with disciplinary, because my husband works out of the house, I am the one also with the fun job. Like, I think my oldest son really likes me because he wants to be a YouTuber. So he's like, Mama's doing the stuff that I eventually want to do. Where if he was into more of the stuff that his dad likes, they have like a lot of things in common. And if his dad was in the house more, he probably would have already thrown me to the curb like an old couch. But I think being the fact that you two are the disciplinary ones, I can see how that could easily make the child be like, well, I'm gonna go with fun daddy for now.
Funny you say that too, because Deval does have disciplinary moments, but he does a better job of doing both.
Yeah.
And for me, I wasn't style stepping right. I was just like more like most of the times with most of my interactions. Yeah. Whereas with Deval, it was like, I'm gonna come down on you, but then, let's do our favorite handshake, homie.
Right.
And I was like, well, I want a handshake too. So like they have this whole situation before bed every night, and it's like, Mom, can you call Dad to tuck me in? And I'm like, well, I can tuck you in, babe. Right. And he's like, but no, I can do the handshake. So there's like a watered down version that Cairo has now. So he's 3. So he's over there like, ready. Like a whole step and whatnot. And I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'll just give y'all a kiss and then y'all can do y'all a little handshake. But,
yeah, that was Marcus and Marcus, the two Marcuses, when his dad would help him with his homework and like spelling tests. They had a whole dance routine anytime he spelled something right. So my son was like, it'd be nice if Mama didn't help me with homework because it's going to end up in me in tears. So if you can help me, granted stuff might be wrong left and right, I will have a more enjoyable time doing this. Yeah. Oh my God, ladies, y'all don't even know how much you all have blessed me by being on Mommy Confessions. I truly, like I was telling them before I started pressing record, I was like, I'm just going to ask and I'm going to see. It took me probably like 3 days to just finally be like, okay, I'm going to send the text today and I'm going to be okay with a yes or a no. And hopefully say yes.
Of course. Anything for you, Angel girl.
Very sweet. I know all of you all, even though we're in quarantine and things are in flux, I know, like you said, Kay has launched a whole channel with premium content.
Congratulations.
Thank
Premium.
y'all.
Okay,
It's been a
Kay.
long time coming, girl. Okay.
Angles, you got cutaways and stuff. I said she's not like graphics flying in. And
It's been a whole process. Let me tell you, when our photographer, videographer Josh sent me camera equipment, I nearly shit myself because I was like, "What am I supposed to do with these cameras? They high tech. I don't like to touch people's stuff. Like, I'm real funny with that." So DeVal, luckily, he's been my whole crew. He's been DP, he's been crafty, he's been the art department, all that in one. So it's been a labor of love, to say the least, but at least it'll be a great story years from now when I can be like, remember when I launched a whole ass channel during a pandemic?
But you did it.
Y'all watched it.
You kept with it. You have not let off of it. Cody, she done launched, I feel like 16 different shows during quarantine. I'm like, she got another show.
I can't keep
I heard for the medal.
Girl.
So I was like, if I can squeeze into her schedule before she launched something else, I'm gonna try to.
I will always say yes to you. Like, for
thank you. And thank you. And then the same with Melissa. You have been building a well, girl, don't you shake your head.
I've been trying to sleep.
It don't look like you sleep, because there's always something popping up. You are one of the people in my news feed, always popping up. You were like, don't worry, if you can't do this, watch, I'm gonna do a challenge. You know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna build a whole house from scratch. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm
gonna do a gallery wall.
Yeah. I'm gonna learn how to interior design.
I did do that.
I was like, okay, so let me just see if they have time in all of this to do this. So thank you, ladies, so much. If you wouldn't mind shouting out where everybody can find all the plethora of content that you all put up. We'll start off with Kadeen, who is closest to me in my screen.
In your screen, okay, I'm like, which way are we going? So, Kadeen, I am on Instagram, and you can also find me on YouTube, Kadeen Ellis, the Ellises as well for our family vlogs. My new show is called Okay, KK, because KK is my nickname. Mm-hmm. And also Deadass Podcast. I am one half of that with my amazing husband. We just won our first Webby Award yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you to everyone who voted. And Angel, Melissa, Cody, you all have been on an episode over the past season. That's something we have in common here. So we had amazing guests over the past 3 seasons. Just wrapped season 3. Don't know what season 4 is going to look like with everything happening, but God willing, everything will be great. So thank you all for following, and that's where you can find me.
Yes. And Cody?
I am Cody Co, CODIECO, but also you can find me at Black Love on Instagram and at Black Love Doc everywhere else, and blacklove.com, and watch Black Love the show. That's just Black Love. Don't forget it. Okay.
$3.99 right now on Facebook.
Yeah.
$3.99 on Facebook.
Watch it. It's so good. And then Melissa Fredericks, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at Miss Kev on Stage on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, the YouTube, and the Twitter. I don't be the tweeting though. But that is where you can find me with child. The randomness that comes with being a woman is the randomness that is my social media.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's my brand too. I love it. So make sure you are following all these ladies. You can, of course, find me at That Chick Angel on all platforms. And you can find this show, Mommy Confessions, not only where all podcasts are found, but also the visual can be found on Facebook as well as YouTube. I'll leave all of their stuff in the show notes, as well as my stuff in the show notes and in the description of the video. You guys, thank you so much. And make sure you all are tuning in next Thursday when we have even more guests. This is one thing, like I said, that I'm loving about quarantine. I'm getting to do quality shows with some amazing people. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Melissa.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, ladies.
And everyone watching, you all have a blessed day. Bye.
Bye.